gentlemen, welcome back to Boring Reviews. Tommy here.
Chucky here.
Yes! Woo!
From Rugrats, baby.
Yeah. Took me a second to come up with that one, too. And today we are checking out another...
QI.
Quite interesting. And what are we checking out, Nick?
What was the chainsaw invented for? I assumed it was just like for lumberjacking, you know, for cutting down trees.
Absolutely not, Nick. It is for killing people in horror videos.
Or, you know, massacres in Texas. But I am so interested because obviously it's not going to be that simple.
No.
I'm so interested to find out. But you have these, I love when you learn about different inventions. It's just interesting to me. Like the Rubik's Cube. I don't have one in arm's length, but I have them around the house. The Rubik's Cube was invented by Dr. Rubik, believe it or not. And it was meant to do something, I can't remember what it was, but it wasn't supposed to be a puzzle or a game. And it turned into be this, it turned into be this like really popular type of conundrum type situation. And so obviously it turned into a huge top selling toy where they still sell probably millions of them a year in 2023, 2024. So anyways.
So what do you think the chainsaw was supposed to be for?
Oh my gosh. I have no idea. It's got to be for cutting something. Maybe like digging holes in the ground to make it easier for drilling.
Especially if there's not a chain, but just like the notches, like the spikes, like the knife parts.
I hope it wasn't for window washing. That won't work out too well. But I'm interested to find out. We're interested to find out. If you like our reaction to this, please don't forget to
like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can be aware of our next upload videos.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here trying to think, like, what in the world could it be the reason for the invention? And I have no idea. All right, sorry. A little random thought there. Here she goes.
Oh, I was saying, here she blows.
Originally invented for proctology.
Oh, God.
Wow.
That's the first
That's
thought?
Scary.
Yeah, that's a...
Slicing an arse in half.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you're in the right area, I have to say.
What?
I mean,
Really?
circumcision.
I always get that guy confused with Stephen Fry. I think they're on a show together.
What I mean
Top
is,
Gear or something.
you began straight away with medicine. You didn't say trees or, you know, cutting down
cutting off legs.
buildings.
Slip bones and
Bones is the right answer. Yes, in particular.
That makes sense.
It was a rather unpleasant procedure. It
Oh,
was
don't. It'll be a boy thing against a girl thing. It
well,
will
not
be.
against, you know.
Well, no,
it's doctors trying to help.
Oh, I know what it is. I know what it is. It'll be a boy thinking a woman's taking far too long over labour, going, oh, I can't stand all that panting. I know, we'll get a chainsaw, just cut that baby out. That's what it is.
You know, you're absolutely right.
No way! No way! What? How did she just
Kill the baby.
It was in 1783.
That's no excuse.
It was two Scots doctors called John Aitken and James Jaffrey, and it was called a symphysiotomy, and it was a procedure to widen the pelvis if the baby's head was too large to pass through.
Can you hear the high tone of all those sighs?
I just gotta stop that for a second. First of all, kudos to her for figuring it out.
Seriously.
And I know she was like joking about it. Kudos to Stephen Fry for the comedic timing there. You know, you're absolutely right. And third of all, I can't help, I'm sorry, I know this is like probably not nice. I can't help but listen to her speak and not think that she like is like a Hogwarts teacher or something. Like, I don't know why.
Isn't that the Sandy lady who ended up
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't
comes
know.
off to me like a Hogwarts teacher. I know
I'm just trying to imagine some form of a chainsaw.
I mean, how wide do you need that canal to be? That thing could do some damage. Now, maybe it was a mini one.
Well, here's the thing.
That's just the pain. I thought he was going to say amputations or something.
Yeah, but he did say, like, what? Did he say
1783 or some nonsense?
So 18th century. So it's not like, I mean, you could have some type of, like, oh, my God.
She was spot on with the man inventing it for a woman.
Stop.
It's a bit eye-watering.
It's a ladies' ward, so of course there is some baking going on.
Yes.
On the cake display, cake.
More laundry.
Hot buns in the oven, Stephen. You see what I did?
In the oven.
They didn't really, darling.
I'm afraid they did. When I say chainsaw, it was literally a chain. It was like a watch chain, in fact. Right. It was like an up and
It wasn't a
down.
full lumberjack giving it...
It's a boy!
They hadn't yet invented the internal combustion engine.
Yeah.
And caesarean sections. Caesarean sections have replaced the same idea.
Okay.
That
Phew.
yes, quite, exactly. It's a bit of a relief. The caesarean section, I think. Sawing the pelvic bone in half is not as easy as maybe just a small incision. And
But is there
I
not
know,
like-
you'd have thought they would have made out the sunroof. But this was before antiseptic. It was before antiseptic surgery, and of course it was before any kind of anaesthetic.
They're not a meeting. You know what I mean? There's not a meeting where someone goes, I've got it. And they go, what? They go, chainsaw, innit?
Well, they looked at a watch chain and they said, you know, if we could sort of ease away the bone like that, rather than using a saw. I know, everyone's wincing.
Have we got another question that isn't about that?
Would it heal? Presumably not very well.
Well, they then went
way.
on to use the same thing. For example, if someone had a bit of diseased bone, they would do the same thing. They would sort of tick it in, then they'd go up and down like that, and then they'd do it lower down, and the two bits would fuse together and have a stiff arm. But it would get rid of the diseased bone. It was called an osteotome. It eventually became like a chainsaw. You can see one here.
My
That is more like a chainsaw.
You don't
Pretty
want
unpleasant.
That, you don't want that coming at you.
You really
No.
don't. You really, really don't.
I remember my wife had a baby, I remember it well. And, yeah, it was a grand day. It was a grand day. But when she had a baby, and there's a point where you go in to see the fella who's going to sort it out on the day.
Obstetrician?
That's
Yes,
him, yeah.
yeah.
He's got an official title. And you go in to see him, and as the husband, he says, right, you sit there on a chair, and then he pulls the curtain across. While him and your wife are in this thing, while he has a little dabble or
It's a
whatever he's
bit
doing.
intimate, isn't it?
It's a bit like you go, I've seen it, mate. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing.
You don't have to
This is
go.
why we're here.
This is my area.
You don't look when that happens, though,
Literally.
do you? At the moment of conception, do you actually have a look? You're looking into. Sorry.
Stephen doesn't need to know, Jason. He doesn't need to know.
You're gazing lovingly into her eyes.
Gazing lovingly,
Is he serious?
gazing lovingly at the Born Identity, which is still on the television. As you reach for your drink.
I'm
What do you think, darling, that he's got a periscope at the moment?
sorry.
I don't know why you and I are having this conversation.
I love his innocence right there. He knows everything.
After the invention of the internal combustion engine, where we were getting Jeremy into his home territory now, eventually by 1920 they were small enough to be able to have a hand-powered
Cut down trees.
And then they cut down trees,
Yes.
exactly. Well, anyway, there you are. Chainsaws were originally invented for midwives.
Oh my gosh.
That is crazy. I still can't believe she called it. Don't tell me it was a stinking man for a woman and this or that giving birth because they were telling him how long it took. Like, well, that's absolutely correct.
Well,
I can
and
start playing.
I just can't think. I can't think about that. I'm so grateful I had kids in this century and not back then. I would have died.
But yeah, I was also thinking, like, she was thinking about the bone damage.
Oh, yeah.
The
That's what I
long-term
was
bone-
thinking. How do you heal?
Because the
That-
whole time I'm still thinking, he
Gosh.
said bones. I just forgot about that.
God.
The whole time I was just thinking, like, skin. Like, they're just cutting the skin a little bit to make
No.
whatever. But the bone, like, sorry, I'm not an anatomy expert either. But the bone, like, someone, like he said in that room, just raised their hand. Well, what's going to happen to the lady 5 years down the road? She's going to be like a little chip off the old block? Literally.
No, that would be so painful. So painful. And they weren't as hygienic back then.
Can you make this go faster, please?
Like,
It's taking too
my
long.
freaking gosh. But it could also be in a situation like when we had Jackson, you know, and it's like, okay, if he doesn't come out now, like, we lose him. So, but anyway.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it as it's a small tool, obviously it predates the scalpel, right? And they
No,
want
the
to get the
scalpel
baby
was
out.
there, I'm for sure.
So then why
before.
wouldn't that be like, we have the scalpel, we'll just, I mean, I get
I'm
it, before the
thinking
cesarean.
like small pelvis where you can't get the baby's head through. It's like the baby's stuck. They can't come out.
Anyways, it's a wonder. Childbirth is a wonder regardless. So please show some respect to the mothers out in the world, because it's like this guy. I was there with all three of my kids born. I wasn't shunned by the curtain. I was included in the entire thing. But like he said, like I was there. It's an amazing, miraculous thing that I never, ever once thought to myself, oh, I want to give that a try. No way, Jose, my friends. With all that being said, don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time.
Goodbye.